Hello, Huntington and beyond. TNS, hello, everybody. Anyway, Miss Steve, if you didn't recognize this pretty face, I didn't shave either because it's July the 4th. Of course, I ain't shaved for a week, so I don't know what my excuse is. Anyway, I'm going to make this one real quick, guys, because I know my people in Huntington don't like long videos because they got things to do around here on July the 4th. So, anyway, y'all didn't think y'all was going to get away with me about me making a video on July the 4th. So anyway, I just want to share this with you. The story. I promise you, if you listen to this thing all the way through, it's going to make your day. I promise this. Okay, because me having you. Okay. Well, right now I got visiting. I got my grandkids down here. Basically, really, they're my wife's kids, but they call me grandpa. So I guess I kind of adopted them. But anyway, Miss Emmy is the one I'm talking about today. She was actually down here in Huntington. She went to school when she was 5 years old here over at the middle school over here. So she did a year here because waiting for her dad and her mom to get all settled in because her dad was deployed and coming back and the whole nine yards. So anyway, Amy and I made a project for July the 3rd. And our job was to go out and that's what we're going to do is go put up our flag for July the 4th. Now, I got a multitude of flags that I fly on July the 4th. And um, normally she takes the ones, with the stick, went them in the dirt. But today was a little different, or this year would be a little different because me and her went together and we were hanging up some flags, and I was telling them what they were for, what they were about. First one we hung was a black one. It was a POW MIA flag. I told her what POWs were. I told her what MIAs were. It kind of made her sad. We went down to the next one, and that was a sign that said, "Don't tread on me." I told her the story that she didn't know what tread means. So I said, "Well, you know that sign when you ride down the road in Texas that says 'Don't mess with Texas'?" She said, "Yeah." So well, that's what the United States told Britain. Don't mess with me because I'll bite back. You bite me, I'll bite you back. She kind of laughed about that. We got on down to the Gonzales flag. And everywhere in Texas when Gonzales went and got that cannon, dug it up out of a peach orchard. I believe it was peach orchard, but anyway, some kind of orchard. And this town had hit it, and so he went down there and got it, and he put up a sign that said, "Come and take it." I was telling Sandy Ann, "You come take it." She kind of liked that a bit too. Just come and take it. Then I went to the next flag, which is my United States Army flag. She goes, "Yeah, Grandpa, I know. I seen pictures." We kind of talked on about that. Went to the next one, and that was my Marine Corps flag. I told her about that. She asked me, she goes, "Grandpa," she goes, "you were in Desert Storm." I said, "Yeah, I was in Desert Storm." She goes, "Well, you were in Afghanistan too." I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Man, you were a long time." I said, "No, baby, I took a break. I got out uh, in 91 and I went and did the civilian thing. I made a little money. And I said, "But I said something like, baby." And on a certain day, I said, "You ever see those commercials about September 11th?" I said, and those planes crashing to the buildings. She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "A lot of people died." I said, "Yeah, baby, a lot of people died." And I said, "Well, we figured out who did it." Grandpa signed up to go over and see if I could find him. So she'd been in my man cave up here, and up here on the wall, I've got from the Seattle Times, I've got um, headline, "Bin Laden killed." So she's seen that in my room and everything. I told her about the story. She asked me, "Grandpa, did you shoot Bin Laden?" I told her, I said, "No, I didn't shoot him, but I said, I sure chased him a lot." I don't. So then we got down to the last our Texas flag, and I told her about San Jacinto. I told her about the Alamo. I told her about Gonzales. I told her about Sam Houston, Travis, you know, all those gents, And we got the battleground up here. We're gonna take her this for a little bit, but um, she got a she got a really good feeling about Texas and what we were all about. And then she said, "You know what?" She said, "That's why that sign says 'Don't mess with Texas.'" I said, "Yep, you're right, baby. You got it. Let's go move on." So we got to the next flag, which is the one that I fly very proudly in my yard, and that's the United States flag. And I told her, I said, "Baby," I told her what this flag represents and how it was earned and why July the 4th was our celebration for the day for our independence. I told her about the Declaration of Independence and how it was actually a document for war, calling for war. And I told her about the Constitution. And I said, "You know what? She goes, you got one of them, Dad, in your man cave right there close to the door. I said, yeah, I do. So then I got to telling her, I said, you know, I said, it used to be, I said, back in those days, man would stand up and fight. And I had a bunch of guys in 1776 said, you know what, this ain't right. So they stood up and they said, I said, he said, no more. We're going to stand up. We're gonna stand up. We're going to rule ourselves. We don't need each other. So yeah, they stood up and I had to go, they had to break out arms and they had to go through the snow and through the winter and all that. And I said, but you know what? They ended up beating the British. And I said, so that's what we did in Philip. I said, but Dad, I said, that ain't all about the back flag. I said, there's a lot of history goes behind it. I said, yeah, this country went through a really bad time. I mean, we got to a time where the North and the South didn't get along. We had a civil war. She goes, yeah, Daddy, I heard about that. She said, Grandpa, I heard about that. I said, well, yeah. She said, Grandpa, why don't you hang that flag? I told her, I said, well, here's the way I see it. It's like when I hang that flag, there's a lot of individuals that want to make a judgment of who I am based on what they think that stands for. And I said, you know what? I don't want people to think that that's the way I am. I want people to know that I don't condone what all the world was about. But I said, I do. I do agree with kind of with the South. They were fighting for their independence and right or wrong. I mean, they fought for what they believed in. You know, got to take your head off of them. We talked a little bit about it. I said, yeah, that's the way it used to be. Yeah, when I was growing up, I said I still remember, on TV. I remember a man named John F. Kennedy. He came along. I told her, I said, you know what? He stood up to, and he said, you know what? We're going to right some of these wrongs. He was really big into civil rights, and he said, you know what? A black man don't have to go into another bathroom. A black man can go sit wherever he wants. A man is equal, no matter what your color. And he had said one word. He said something there, baby. I said, he said that, you know what? Don't ask what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. I said, yeah, that's the way it used to be. I said, and just apropos, or just for give you an example, I said that man stood up for something he believed in, and said he got killed in Dallas. They shot him in the head. I said, yeah, that's the way it used to be. Back in World War II, where the kids used to actually contribute to the war, and they used to have kids that go around and peel out the tinfoil out of cigarette tops and find out go looking for tinfoil, and they used to take it and make it in a ball. They'd get a certain size ball, and they'd go down there, they'd hand it into the war effort, they'd give them a piece of candy. So everybody was involved. You had women over there doing the riveting. They had women building tanks. Everybody was contributing. Yeah, that's the way it used to be. I remember back in all those wars, World War One, all the men from Bella Wood, all those we look up to. We don't even mention that. Well, so some of us do remember how it used to be. I said, that man I told you, Kennedy, I said, he had a brother who did the same, stood up for, believed in, said something that nobody wanted to hear, didn't like to hear. He was telling the truth and they didn't want to hear it, just like his brother. I said, and that's something I learned. I guess I should have learned that when you stick up and you believe in something, you stand up. And I should have learned from Kennedy because you know what? I'm my baby. I said, you know what? You end up getting killed. So that's the way it used to be. So then we got on into some wars and scraps. We got Korea. We don't even know what that was about. And we lost some good men over there in the snow, and they fought in the snow. I think mainly the reason they fought that was that's what the government, they told them to go. Back one time you didn't question your service, you enjoyed what you had, and you know what, you was proud that you were actually fighting for something that you believed in. Somebody appreciated it too. Yeah, that's how it used to be. got into another war over in Vietnam, and it turned sideways, and people didn't understand, and they got mad at the soldiers instead of the government. So them soldiers came home after fighting for their rights. They got spit on, dog poo poo thrown on them, called baby killers and all that. So that's the way it used to be. So we've been through a hard time in this country, and we've always kind of muddled through, baby. I said, this flag kind of tells that whole story. I told her about Betsy Ross, and I told her about them stars, and I told her how many we started with and how many we got now. So she come in and started studying the states. I guess think she missed a few. But that's the way it used to be. I told her about how that flag was carried from battlefield to battlefield. And every time you go into a town, you seem to find that something hanging somewhere. Because, see, for some folks, it matters. That flag's still flying true. And for some folks, it matters that people fought and died and lived their life underneath the rules, establishments that flag represents. A lot of people defend their country in different ways. We got people who are working every day, and they work for a country so they can have that pink house and that big apple pie, but they get to go to work every morning, and they show up, they try. They still keep forgetting. They always figure about. I told my baby, I said, it was back in those days a man could go to work out of high school, find a good trade, and he could work there for 20 years. 20 years out of his life, and then he could retire with his wife. They could catch up on their life. He'd work overtime and whatever he had to do just to pay the bills. Sometimes they go up, kind of like Huntington's trying to do. But as I told her, I said, that's the way it used to be. I said, Mom stayed home. She didn't have to work. She chose to stay home and take care of her kids because that was important to her. That's the way it used to be. A lot of men came back from the war. They left them home, baby. They left them homeless. We still got that problem today. I said 1 in 22 veterans, 1 in 22 veterans a day, baby. I said, they kill themselves because they ain't got no hope. They ain't got nobody else. They got nowhere to go. And that's the way it used to be. That's the way it is. But we got on hammer and we were talking about the history, about the good times, what America used to be. We didn't scare so easy. We didn't back down from a fight. We stood up for what we believed in and what we knew was right. We call it as we see it. Hey, we broke a bunch of rules. Some people broke the law just to get their message out and be heard. I said something back in those days. It wasn't against the law to stand up for your beliefs and go to jail because somebody thinks it's a law. Back then it was different because man was held with the justice from a woman with a blindfold on her eyes and only looked at the evidence. That's the way it used to be. Used to be a man could go to court and get a fair trial. Used to be that attorneys would know this ain't worth a trial. That's the way it used to be. Back those days were good old days, but you tell the people right now, hell, they walk both hills to school both ways. Snow was 10 feet deep. Daddy never gave them a nickel. They had to pick one up off the street. Yeah, them old timers, they like to whine and moan, but hell, they earned it. So I just let there and I can learn a lot from that. So you can too, baby. So back in the end, it was pride and truth. You take respect for your elders. You learn from them and you listen. Some of it's horse shit, some of you just throw away, but I guarantee you'll remember it someday. Sometimes it don't make sense to you right then, but sooner or later, like, oh, that's what he was talking about. Oh, hell, that's what he was talking about. So that's the way it used to be. Man was known by his handshake, as long as it was firm. Man would tell you, yep or no. That's what he thought. You took him at his word. That's the way it used to be. People didn't really rely on deceit. They tried to tell the truth, but somehow, but that's the way it used to be. I told her about this country and all the wars we've been through and all the hard times we had, but I said, hell, we had good times too. I say men and women work. They pay their dues, but they cherish their weekends or their days off. They enjoy what they work hard for. Enjoy the kids nor the wife. No one on Monday morning. He'll be right there with a hammer or now. They were proud of it, proud of the job they did. They took pride in it. That's the way it used to be. People were just different way back when. I mean, people just trying to get by and living the best way for the Lord. Even though they weren't going to church every Sunday or out there just being be seen, be heard. Everybody knew about the Bible. Everybody knew about Jesus. They all figured it out. And one thing about talking to the Lord, you always heard. That's the way it used to be. We had good times. I've seen, no doubt, people get married, people get babies, people have things that what you really care about. Seeing life move on, watch it transpire. So you had a little bit to do with that. Kind of makes you proud a little bit. That's back when we had a little pride and we took a little step in our walk. We're Americans. That's the way it used to be. It used to be an American was something that we all hold true, even though we disagree on subjects. And yeah, we've had a few. But back then, in those old days, the way it used to be, when push came to shove, everybody agreed on one thing, and there was one thing we all had in common: we were Americans, and that's all we need. We have history of individuals that went through lots of strife and worked their butts off to have what we have today in life. A working man, nobody gives credit to. Man gets up, works 3 shifts: morning, evenings, and nights. Carries a lunchbox, a cup of coffee. Gets every day up like clockwork. I don't even think they needed a clock back then. That's the way it used to be. America used to be something the world looked up to. We were number one in pretty much everything: the economy, math, science. We applied ourselves to the resources of science and physical capabilities. We applied ourselves to areas that we wanted to be number one in every area, and we supported us being toward a common goal, and that was to make our America better than what it was before. A lot of people put in a lot of time and sweat working for a living, making up a gun, babysitting a newborn baby so mama can get some sleep. Running around calling that game, bet you can't with your kid. Bet you can't go out there and hit that tree. You go out there and keep back up. I said, I bet you won't do that again. That was one hard lessons that we learned from people who had a sense of humor, you know. But everything, you know what? There was a reason, and you learned. That's the way it used to be. Nowadays, we got lawyers calling them shots. We got politicians that they're above what we got. Used to be that men was held accountable for their actions, and they could admit when they were wrong, and they didn't hide too much information. But then Watergate came along. But we fixed that. We moved ahead, and there was two brave Americans that no one would have ever said, and no one will remember to this day. But their name was Woodstein and Bernstein. Two reporters. I believe it was from the Washington Post. I believe, but it was Woodward and Bernstein. They didn't quit, and they stood up for what was right. They kept asking questions because the answers that they were getting just weren't right. They kept on. They took a lot of flack, almost lost their job. Matter of fact, they kept pushing on through. Come one government official, called him Deep Throat. He gave them a clue. They took it from there. That's all they needed. Just one person in the elite that wanted to do something right. That's the way it used to be. People of all walks of life, people of all walks of life, all people of different colors, all people of different statuses, and all people in the government, people wasn't in the government, people in the FBI, CIA, all of this, they all came to realize that, you know what, we got to share this information. That's the way it used to be. Old J.R. Hoover, he had his G-men. They tried to outlaw alcohol. See how that worked out, my friend. That's the way it used to be. And she asked me, she goes, Grandpa, what happened? I said, baby girl, I can't answer that question. I said, I pretty much got an answer for every question that you ask, but for that one, I just don't know, baby. I still ask. She goes, well, Grandpa, what happened? I said, I don't know, baby. Can't tell you the truth. And I said, you know what? I'm going to leave that job just for you. I want you to go on your endeavors and carry on, but I always want you to see maybe if you can find out what happened. What happened to make this America the way it is today? When people thrive on vengeance, hate, revenge, take your pride in hurting other people. What happened? She said, Daddy, why people didn't love each other and care, sit down and talk to each other and work out what was there. You know? I said, like, baby, I said, that's up to you. I'm hoping in your life you'll come up with the answer. As long as it's true. I said, you know what, baby, we came back, be back in the house by now. Too dang hot out there. I'm telling you a lot. We came back in the house. We were sitting there. I told her, I said, you know what? I said, you see my Bible there? I said, see that little green book over there? And she said, yeah. I said, well, that was my combat Bible. I said, you can't read it very much. It's kind of more in word. Then there's the Constitution. It's right over there. And there's the Texas Constitution. It's right over there. I said, also, there's what they call the UCMJ, quote, form of military justice. That's what I live by today. See, those books really keep me on the straight and narrow and help me on my way. When I question, sometimes I have to go to the Bible. Sometimes I question the law that we have, and I go to the constitutions. I always look at the UCMJ about the code of conduct that I'm supposed to actually present on a daily basis. When I do this, it's come to light that people think I'm mean, look tough, and they don't know who I am. There's this boy on the Facebook. I think his name is Dan. He don't like me, and he'll tell you it's true. He got an opinion though, so I don't say nothing. He's got a right to say whatever he wants to say. Believe whatever he wants to believe. He's got a right. I don't go half cocked and just get in a fight. No way. I try to stay on the straight and narrow, and I try to stand up for what's true. But lately, like I told her, she said, "Daddy, I heard you got she grabbed my paw, I heard you got a little trouble." I said, "Yeah." What'd you do? I said, "Well, I spoke up when I saw a law was getting ready to be broken." So I used a bad word when I was leaving outside, way away when I didn't think anybody was listening, and said the cops were. So they arrested me for vulgarity, but baby, there ain't. It wasn't right. Wasn't even a law. Not even a law today. Supreme Court issued that ruling a long time ago. California versus Simpson, I believe, but I have to recheck my reference. But yeah, so that's what happened. I said I spoke up for my rights. I was trying to speak up for the rights of others to do right. She looked at me with a funny look, and she said, "Grandpa." I said, "Yeah, what?" She goes, "Grandpa, that sounds like the Kennedys." I said, "You know what?" She's smarter than she looks. You know what? Maybe you're right. But I said, you know what? I'm leaving that up to you to find out what happened. So I don't know where I'll be at that time. I said I'll probably be 6 foot, a foot under. I didn't say that word. I just said under. Freaking under. Okay. I said, but one day you're gonna reach back in those files and you're gonna be somewhere. Be thinking about that and what happened. And all of a sudden there's gonna be a big flash of light. It's gonna be like a pop in your head, and you're gonna see the light. You're gonna look back on this case that I'm gonna go through, and you're gonna look at the Kennedys, and you're gonna look at every president, including Lincoln. They were shot for standing up for what they believe. Then you're gonna look over the evidence on this case, and wherever it goes, and you're gonna say, you know what? That's why they took my grandpa away for a while, just like the Kennedys, just like Abraham Lincoln, just like the Kennedys. And she's gonna look down. She's gonna look at the evidence, and she's gonna decide that little twinkle that she has. It's gonna go off in her eye. She's gonna experience sadness. She's gonna be blue, but deep down inside her, she's gonna be mad. Because she said it may happen to, if it can happen to you, who else can it happen to? And then she's going to realize that I need to make a decision. I need to stand up for what's right. She wants to teach school, and I told her, that's great. I told her, I said, you know what? Don't forget the steps we took today. I said, go out there and look at all them flags. Remember what they present. Teach them to them kids so they don't forget their history. Because that's important. Thinking about the things that you learned along the way. Always think of one thing. Think about your grandpa along the way. Think about some things I taught you, the good and the bad. How I pulled your hair sometimes just to make you mad. Call you water bug all the time. Just reach back and remember, even though I had to go and do some time. Stand up for what you believe in, baby. There's no right, wrong. And that twinkle in her eye's going to hit her when she's up and wrong. It's going to hit her the where she realizes she needs to stand true and she needs to honor what all these people that came before her went and done, went to do. She's going to say, now it's my turn. Because that's what happened. She's going to learn. It's very simple what happened. I ain't going to tell her till she figures it out. Somewhere along the way, we start caring. We stop caring. And we stop thinking that we could change the straps that are on our back. We stop looking for a way out. We stop looking for a better way. We got comfortable. And whatever they said, well, okay. Little did we realize that, simple or not, those rights we take, or what they're taking away today, our children are never going to get. They're never going to have the opportunity to experience those same freedoms that we got. They're going to take it away one chip at a time till we don't notice, till we're out of time. And we're going to wake up one morning, we're going to look at the door, and we're going to say, hey, where did it go? Well, they took it. Where was that? Well, you sitting there looking. But I have hope in that little girl. And she's going to do the right thing. Because I see it in her. She's going to do the right thing. Everybody knows the plight I'm up against. Heck, I expected it. What do you expect, man? I'm prepared for it as best I can. But if you see this video today on July the 4th, welcome forward. I hope everybody don't eat too much. And I hope if you're drinking beer, don't drink too much beer because you got to get home. And don't drink and drive because you're around here. Okay? You got to get home to the popos out here. Everything you need to know about this plight is on hashtag Free a Patriot. Free a Patriot. I know I don't have I have a bad Texas accent. People call me a foreigner around here in Huntington. They say, well, he's only been here 5 years. Well, I grew up in Texas, man. I lived there all my life until I decided to go to college. And I drank that away, so then I went into the military. That's one thing about college. You learn how to drink beer. I mean, you may not learn anything else, but you learn how to drink beer. Never see the inside of a classroom, but you can drink beer. So, hashtag Free Patriot, Free a Patriot at Twitter. All you need to know on them videos is right there. All the proof, everything that I've been through, what the city's getting ready to do. So if you take a note and you see this video and maybe that little twinkle in your eye, that little heart flutter kind of goes off and moves you a little bit inside, take advantage of that moment because it's rare indeed when the good Lord in your heart and the Holy Ghost all agree. maybe you should react and just do your part. Send the city of Huntington, the cityofhuntington.org, and ask them what happened. Pull out our Freedom of Information Act and find out on yourself what you can learn. I'm asking for everybody starting tomorrow to send out a message of their concern, or let city let the city council and the sheriff Sanchez know that I was wrongly arrested and I got hauled in on a law that don't even exist. Now, how can you do that? How can you charge somebody with a law that don't even exist? Then all the way down the line, the Supreme Court said you can do that. You deserve to be heard, and so you said what you said. They got to hear what you said. But I ask you to do me a favor and just maybe on July the 4th, that maybe you can reach down and find out in yourself that you know what, you've had enough, and it's time that maybe you stand up and send an email. CD Huntington, cityofhuntington.org, .org. Send them a note. Let them know what you think. I understand the reason why a lot of people don't, because the fact is the whole that we have on this town. The fact is it may affect our kids, or it may our status, or maybe our income at our job, or we may get a bad reputation, or it may influence on something that we have to apply for a job, because most of the individuals that work here in construction, or they're unemployed, and they need a good word to get in that gate, day or night. I understand that. I'll be whole. But don't believe everything you've been told. Do your research before you judge me. Hashtag Free a Patriot at Twitter. Look up the city of Huntington. Maybe you want to address something they have to say. Maybe you got to say. But it's on July the 4th today. You have a right to exercise your right. You can put on the contact place. You can actually, without even mentioning your name, you can make a phone call tomorrow morning, first thing. It's not a plea for help. It's just asking you to reach down and think about it yourself. I promised everybody, and I mean it's true. I mean, well, I don't know how much money I'm in the hole now on this fight. I ain't asking no money. I don't want none. I ain't in this for the money. If they try to give me some, I'm gonna give it right back to Huntington when we get it right. When we get a revitalization fund, where they tell us people where that money spent that we donate back, instead of putting it in a general fund, knowing we can't track it. Happy July the 4th, ladies and gentlemen. And y'all have a good time. I mean, don't have too much of a good time, you know. Don't much around, eat too damn much, and man, for you guys with PTSD, to put a pillow over your head at night, because it's gonna be popping, and you're not in a firefight. So I really want to say, just have a happy 4th and remember what it's for. It's our celebration day. It's a celebration day when we first stood up. It's our celebration day when we said we've had enough. It's our celebration that says we want to have our own rule. We don't need to be ruled by a crown or elites who determine and dictate our rights, that are not able to represent us. That's my plight. Hashtag Free a Patriot on Twitter. You guys hit me up. I also have a Facebook page, and I'm saying this out there because I have a few members from Huntington, but my Facebook page is Facts and Huntington Proof. That's it. Facts and Huntington Proof on Facebook. You can look me up there. And also my Twitter account, my Facebook account. You just look up Steve Dubose. I don't know how to get to it. Like, look up Steve Dubose and you'll see me. They call me Wolfpack somewhere on Gab because they say, well, you use two names. Well, no, because the fact is that you can't use two names in the same damn place. So I went with Wolfpack because I had to I had a shot of Amazing Grace. I sit here in my room and I got 4 German Shepherds around there, so I figured, you know what, I'm in a Wolfpack. Just came to me. Figure that out. Y'all have a good day. Honor them kids. Make sure them kids have a good time. Be careful. Don't blow yourself up. If they don't send your kids over here, you know, they might get hurt. I'm gonna have my firecrackers. I ain't gonna shoot my guns. I'm gonna have my firecrackers and get the sparklers. And got these kids out here. They gonna get them poppy things where you throw them down. We're gonna have a bonfire out here. So y'all see a bonfire out here on kids, don't stop. Bring your own beer. I don't drink beer no more, so I bring your own beer. Think about it today. I know this is long, but I guarantee you'll be a little happier today after you see it. So sing my song. I'll see you guys later. God bless. Love you.